Welcome to this summary episode for Kalidasia Live. I'm Jason, the creator of the Kalidasia universe, and today is the third part in the series about building the new Peregrine Miniature for Legends of Kalidasia. Now up to this point here, we've done 2 steps here of concept art, and that was all about to get an idea of what the Peregrine Miniature is going to look like. The idea was just trying to solve the big problems and figure out from all directions, what exactly this 3D object is really going to be once it becomes a 3D model, because it's all about solving these problems in terms of what exactly it's going to look like as soon as possible, because these steps here, concept art and now the mechanical ship plan design, all are easier to fix and correct than later on when we're actually building a 3D model. But today, like I said, this is all about building the final ship plan of the miniature. Here I am working in Adobe Photoshop, and I have all the pieces of the concept art laid out in such a way that the different dimensions all kind of line up. Of course, they're only approximately lining up because these are concept art. Today, when it comes to creating the ship plan, it's all about getting the actual dimensions of every little piece of this warship lined up and fixed across all these different views. Now this video is far too short to be a complete Adobe Photoshop tutorial, but I'm going to do my best to actually use proper Photoshop terminology so you can look up these different features and how they work later on your own time. You can see over on the right hand side in how I set up my actual file is that I've got, first of all, I've got a giant layer at top called the working layer. This is the one I'm actually drawing the current view of the ship plan on, and then I move it down into one of these 5 different groups that I have created. Each group is for each view of the warship, and then inside each group we've got 2 layers. You have one layer which is the concept art. The concept art layer here is actually, I have it locked so you can't accidentally draw over it, and its opacity is turned down to 33%. That way it can kind of hide a little bit in the background, just acting more as a guide and not be overbearing as I draw the final lines. And then the layer above it is after I'm done drawing a part of the plans, I'm going to move it from the working layer to this other layer here, just because you're going to see in a little bit later on in this tutorial, I'm kind of moving things around to transfer dimensions across between the different views. To create the actual ship plans, I'm using a whole bunch of guides. Now instead of using a grid, I'm dragging these guides in from the left side and the top side of the screen, and I kind of intersect their points at the various points where I want to actually draw a line from the start to finish. So I put them at the start point and end point, and then I draw a line. And now it's important to understand that, like I said here, this is all about figuring out dimensions. So obviously a warship has length, width, and height. Now any given view of the concept art here conveys 2 of those dimensions, whether it's length and width, height and width, and so on. So initially here I'm working on the top view, which is going to be able to figure out what the length of the warship is and what the width of it is, and I'm also at the same time that I can work on the front view, because the front view I need to know the width of the warship, but I'm also figuring out the height. And then once I've got all those dimensions figured out, I can start transferring those to the other sides of the concept art and finish them in later. But in theory, this process is just very mechanical, doing the same thing over and over again. You move your guides into the points where you want to set up, and you draw the line. And then you can use some of the guides from the, say, one concept view area, and then they transfer over, and you can see how you can draw then, the same piece from the front view on the front view, or if you work on the side view eventually, you can draw the same line on the side view. And really all this whole process here is about, in step 3, is just coming up with the exact dimensions for all your various pieces of concept art. And you're going to realize very quickly where areas in your concept art don't line up. And there were certain cases here where the engine shape wasn't quite right compared to this front view to the side view, the back view. And of course I just figured that out. And really there's nothing to that except just deciding what you want to go with and making sure it looks uniform across all your different views here. And once you've got that all done, you have everything you need to relatively quickly build your warship's 3D model. Now, in a magical world, you have everything all set, ready to go. I can tell you from at the time I'm recording this audio here, I've already done the Blender work and created a 3D model. So there's still a few things I did miss with these ship plans, but they came very close to an actual buildable 3D model, and it saved me a heck of a lot of time with the 3D modeling process. But there's going to be more about that in part 4. So once again, I am Jason. For more information on the Kalidasia universe, or to check out Legends of Kalidasia or Kalidasia Fleet Commander, you can head over to kalidasia.com/live. You can find the URL down there in the bottom. And join me every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time to see the latest episode of Kalidasia Live. Part 4 is going to be about building the 3D model for this warship, and that will actually bring this series to a conclusion. So thank you for watching, and have a good night.
For 6 months, we have faced invasion. For 6 months, planet after planet has fallen to the Surakari. But here, at Albion, we will make our stand. Here at Albion, it will be our finest hour, and the name of Kylon will be immortalized in history!